Yeah, hi there, and these comments are for LS. I'm using your initials for privacy purposes, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I'm going to answer your question right now, and then I will video correct your essay. So you say, could you please give me your suggestions about my weaknesses in one of my integrated writing tests? Yes, that's what I'm going to do right now. You say, also, I have a question about the organization of integrated writing that is confused me. I would say there, instead of is confused, use active voice. So you could say, that confuses me. If the question asks to sum up the lecture, you want to say, should I write thesis and main points of the lecture, and it leads to 2 or 3 topic sentences from thesis, thus in the topic sentences should be about the lecture again. For example, is it logically? You want to say there, is it logical, not logically. So typically after the be verb, you want to use adjectives, not adverbs. Now after regular verbs, that's when you use adverbs. See, please give me an idea which way is better, writing about the reading in the topic sentences of the paragraphs or about the lecture. Both. We can have it both ways here. So part of the paragraph you're explaining the main points of the reading passage, and part of the paragraph you're explaining the main points of the lecture. So you want to do both. You want to be balanced there. So you're showing that you understand how the lecture relates to the information in the reading. Right? So that would be my answer there. Now, if your question is, well, should I start with the lecture first or the reading first and the lecture? You can do it either way. It doesn't really matter. You can. The key here is consistency. So if your second paragraph, you state the main point of the lecture first, and then you show how the reading is different from that, you could do that. And then the next paragraph, you do listening, reading, then listening, reading again, or you could start with the reading passage and then the lecture. So either way, you can do it. Okay, after reading your essay, I'm going to put you at 2.75 out of 5, 18 points out of 30. So there are some things you can do in terms of your structure. I think your language use, and also the completeness and accuracy of your information. There's a few things you want to do in those areas in order to score higher. And what I'm doing in this video is I will actually make all of the necessary corrections to show you how you can change this essay from 2.75 out of 5 to 5 out of 5, or 30 points out of 30. So if you look over at the rubrics here under 275, so I think here you need to do a little bit better job connecting, I think, the listening and the reading together. Also, you have language errors or expressions that make connections or meaning unclear at key junctures, such as your thesis or topic sentences. So I think that's bringing your score down a little bit. Okay, so now, I'm going to put the reading passage over here and the lecture so you can see those. And we'll take a look at what you wrote, and as we go, we will check for accuracy and completeness of content. Okay, so we can see these ideas here. First of all, I think in the introduction you're probably doing a little too much. The main thing here is maybe a sentence, a simple compound sentence where you're connecting the main points of the reading passage and the lecture. That's probably fine, right? So I don't even think, and then you can spend more time working on your body paragraph. So don't spend too much time on the conclusion and the introduction, and then you're not going to have enough time to finish this writing task. So we have the reading passage provides disadvantages of homeschooling, such as a lack of social interaction. You have on this one a lack of a trained instructor, and then we have and this one idea, I think if you say lack of here, you can probably get rid of them and these other. So let's do that too. We're going to make this more concise. So lack of social interaction, trained instructors, and lack of a students learn to be on time and responsible. The lecture, on the other hand, don't even need all of this. The lecture, on the other hand, disagrees with each of these points. If you say that, this is actually enough here. You don't have to go overboard here. So you have the reading passage provides disadvantages of homeschooling, such as a lack of social interaction, trained instructors, and lack of regular routines, not regimes, routines in which students learn to be on time and responsible. The lecture, on the other hand, disagrees with each of these points. Okay, let's take a look at your first body paragraph. So the reading passage disagrees with the lecture about social interaction. I would just put it like, you don't even need that. The reading passage claims that, what is it saying here? It prevents students from getting the social interaction that they need, right? Claims that home you need to make that connection clear. So the reading passage claims that homeschooling prevents children you might say from participating in group activities and interacting with other children. And then you say, however, the lecture opposes this idea by, and what does the lecture actually say? It's saying that homeschool provides a more relaxed and secure environment. The key you didn't really make, you got to make the connection as it relates to social interaction. This is how you're going to get the higher score. So whatever the point is that you say in the reading passage, you need to show how the lecture relates to that key point. So however, the lecture opposes this idea claiming that homeschooling which provides a relaxing and secure, maybe, environment offers So offers, you want to say social networks and other group activities. You might say so that these children get chances to socialize, maybe with other homeschooled students. You can probably say that's probably good enough there. So we're trying to show how the lecture says there are opportunities for social interaction with homeschool children, and that disagrees with the other idea. Okay, so let's go to your next one here. So again, probably you could put this, but I don't think you want to get to what the reading passage is focusing on, right? So I didn't think you need that. So you're basically stating what the main point is in the reading, right? Now you're not making entirely the right connections here. And what I would do here, I wouldn't put although the reading and then the lecture. You're trying to do everything in one single sentence, and this type of writing is a little too complicated for that. It's better to include an independent clause which only focuses on the main point of the reading passage. Maybe provide some detail in there. Once you've done that, then you show how the lecture differs from that idea. So the reading is saying that homeschool prevents children from being punctual and responsible because they're not used to getting in the routine of going to school every day. And they're not meeting deadlines and things, right? Okay, let's do this. I'm going to show you a trick. So you need to put the voice markers in there like you're doing, right? The reading passage. So homeschools do not, according to the author in the reading passage, you might, instead of routine, you're not getting the habit of attending school every day at a certain time, and they do not get accustomed to turning in maybe meeting due dates for assignments, something like that. This is where you want to end it. That's it. period. Here, we're done. Now we got to get into the lecture, right? So look at what we have again here. So a third of all homeschools do not, according to the author in the reading passage, teach students to be punctual and responsible. Since these kids do not get in the habit of attending school every day at a certain time, and they do not get accustomed to meeting due dates for assignments, a fact which could affect their future job, I would make that plural. The lecture, you might want to say, the lecture disagrees How about lecture claims that let's change the word order a little bit here. Claims that in contrast, the lecture claims that homeschool children learn to be dependent because they are completing their academic assignments on their own. I'm going to put another voice marker in there. Okay, there we go. So I think we have this. So this paragraph is done. I think we have it. So a third of all homeschools do not, according to the author in the reading passage, teach students to be punctual and responsible, since these kids do not get in the habit of attending school every day at a certain time, and they do not get accustomed to meeting due dates for assignments, a fact which could affect their future jobs. And maybe here it might be better to say careers. In contrast, the lecture claims that homeschool children learn to be independent because they are completing their academic assignments on their own. Moreover, this self-reliance, asserts the speaker, will later lead to these students, put an apostrophe here, academic and work success. So I think you probably have too much here, the reading passage and the lecture. You might say something like that. That'll probably work. Okay, let's take a look at this one more time. So, paragraph 1, the reading passage, and wait a minute here. Let's see how many words we have here. So I got rid of some things and added others, right? Here, hold on a quick second. Okay, let's take a look. I apologize. I got distracted by my cell phone. So some telemarketers have gotten a hold of my cell phone. It's a nightmare. They call all the time now. Okay, here we go. So we're just looking at the word count. That's fine. 337 words. Don't need to write more than that. Really, it's 250. If you got 250 to 350, that's plenty, right? Okay, so here we go. The reading passage provides disadvantages of homeschooling, such as a lack of social interaction, trained instructors, and maybe don't need to say that, and regular routines in which students learn to be on time and responsible. The lecture, on the other hand, disagrees with each of these points. That's it. It's very simple. First of all, the reading passage claims that homeschooling prevents children from participating in group activities and interacting with other children. However, the lecture opposes this idea, claiming that homeschooling, which provides a relaxing and secure environment, offers social networks and other group activities so that these children get chances to socialize with other homeschool children. So, what am I doing here? I'm spending the first part, or the first part of the paragraph mentioning the reading, and then the last part of the paragraph focuses on the listening. Okay, second of all, the reading passage claims that homeschools are supervised by irresponsible parents that do not have enough time to organize their lessons to teach your children. Moreover, the author in the reading passage asserts that these homeschool children will not get a complete education because there are no qualified teachers to assist these learners. In contrast, the lecture, which argues against these two assertions, claims that a majority of parents who homeschool their children are in fact responsible. Furthermore, according to the speaker in the lecture, contrary to what the author in the reading passage claims, fully credentialed teachers oversee the homeschooling process so that these children have access to daily-based computer monitoring and instruction from professionals. Third of all, homeschools do not, according to the author in the reading passage, teach students to be punctual and responsible, since these kids do not get in the habit of attending school every day at a certain time, and they do not get accustomed to meeting due dates for assignments, a fact which could affect their future careers. In contrast, the lecture claims that homeschool children learn to be independent because they are completing their academic assignments on their own. Moreover, this self-reliance, asserts the speaker, will later lead to the students' academic and work success. And that's it. And you have in conclusion, or not in the conclusion, just in conclusion, the reading passage and the lecture have opposing points of view regarding the success of homeschooling. So for me, don't spend too much time on the introduction or the conclusion. You want to spend more time on paragraph 2, 3, and 4 and make sure that you explicitly show the relationship. Right? So for you, I think if you look at my essay and you compare it with yours, I made some changes. Sometimes I added some information. I got rid of some information that you didn't need. I made a few editing changes in there. And these are things that you can do to improve your writing to get a higher score. Now the question is, what can you study to help improve your writing, right? So I'm going to go through my website. Where is it? This lesson number 5. This is what I think is going to help you some. Is use a compound sentence maybe in the introduction and also in the conclusion to link the main points of the reading and the lecture. That would work. That's something you could think about. I think lesson number 4, sentences with appositives, I think that's going to be good for you. Lesson 6, sentences with adjective clauses. You can check that out. What else here? Maybe lesson 16, count and non-count nouns. Another one. Sentence variety, I think would be a good one for you. Okay, now let's go to the writing section. Let's see what we have. So let's look at the integrated writing. Yeah, I had lessons in here all the time, so you may not even know some of these lessons. So I think lesson number 12.2, paraphrasing with voice markers, check that out. I think that would be a good one for you. What else here? Lesson 9.2, which method of organization is better for TOEFL integrated writing? I think that would be a good one. You can take a look at. Good, I think we're good, and that's probably pretty much it. So keep working. Don't give up on this. You will continue to improve. So, and that's exactly how you can rewrite your essay so you get a perfect score of 5 out of 5.